Well, now to a court case that highlights the clash of religious beliefs and Australian law. A Muslim woman has been sentenced to jail for making a false complaint of racism against a police officer. He'd ordered her to remove her burqa, but this became a much bigger battle. Laura Sparks has more.
When Australian Muslim Carnita Matthews was pulled over by the police, she cried racism.
Do you regret making that complaint at all?
When the law found she lied, she cried mistaken identity. Matthews claimed she was manhandled by the police officer when he asked to show her face.
And it actually felt like he actually touched my veil. And I pulled back.
She filed a complaint at her local police station, but the police in-car video proved she was lying.
You are racist.
Okay.
All cops are racist.
Okay. She played this. She tried to destroy the policeman with the ugliest of smears.
That's when she turned to her headdress as a get-out clause, doubling her burqa for a balaclava. Her lawyers claiming her head-to-toe burqa meant police could not be sure she had made the complaint. But her signature on the false claim revealed the lie.
She has played the religious card and it's backfired.
2GB radio broadcaster Jason Morrison says no other members of the community would get away with refusing to show their face to the police.
She was using her culture as an excuse to try to be above the law. And I think in doing this, she has humiliated herself. She has put a nasty shadow over many people in the Islamic faith that don't deserve this.
Carnita, are you upset it's come to this?
We as Muslims have to be very careful about crying, the victim and complaining about issues based on religiosity.
Karanda Sayed is Executive Director of the Forum on Australia's Islamic Relations.
We would expect maybe the police officer to call upon a female police officer who is available.
But if that was the case, playing devil's advocate, wouldn't she be then getting special treatment?
I don't believe it's special treatment. There's been more cases of women wearing burqa now, and so I think we now, as from a police perspective, need to look at training and looking at religious sensitivities.
You're worried that this case puts the Muslim faith in a bad light?
It does put Islam in a bad situation. It does make it look like Muslims are trying to use religion to get out of a situation.
In fact, it was the Campbelltown mother of 7 who today the magistrate labelled as racist. For her barefaced attempt at manipulating justice, she was jailed for 6 months.
The judge has ruled she needs to show her face to a jury.
It's the second time burqa-wearing Muslim women have lost out to the law of the land. A judge overhearing a Perth trial this year ordered a Muslim woman to remove her burqa when giving evidence.
It's an everyday occurrence, as in my experience, and I think it's got worse in probably the last 10 or 15 years.
Former police officer and author Tim Priest had his reputation attacked with false accusations. He welcomed the decision.
It's straight out criminality, and they've tried to hide it behind reverse racism. That is that the policeman was supposed to have been racist, according to her version, but as it turns out, I think there's a bit of racism on her part.
When it comes to the burqa, there is a time and a place for it not to be worn. When a police officer says so, there's one. That's fundamentally it.
Laura